Connie, how did it feel to be named to that list?
I'm just proud to have made the list. I couldn't believe it when it was number 9.
And I listened to all kinds of music growing up, and I picked what I liked. The thing that I picked from Jean Shepherd is her voice was so clear, and she was one of the models that I modeled because I thought this is
Connie Smith, a name that reshaped country music with unmatched talent and a spirit that could not be broken. From humble beginnings to record-breaking success, how did she become one of the most unforgettable voices in country music history? What made her sound so distinct, and what fueled her passion for decades, even as the industry evolved? Today, we're diving into the extraordinary life of Connie Smith, a story of resilience, faith, and a voice that captivated generations. From her chart-topping debut to her powerful comebacks, Connie's journey is a testament to staying true to who you are. So, sit back and join us as we uncover the highs, the struggles, and the enduring legacy of this country music legend. On August 14th, 1941, in the quiet town of Elkhart, Indiana, Constance June Meador was born, better known to the world as Connie Smith. Her childhood was far from easy. Her biological father, plagued by alcoholism, brought hardship to the family, and her parents' eventual divorce set the stage for a challenging upbringing. When her mother remarried, Connie's family grew to include 15 children, a blended household filled with noise, chaos, and love. Life wasn't perfect, but it taught Connie resilience from an early age. Growing up in a family that large meant everyone played a role, and music quickly became a part of their daily lives. Her stepfather played the mandolin, her brothers took up the fiddle and guitar, and Saturday nights were sacred for one thing: listening to the Grand Ole Opry on the radio. It was through those broadcasts that a young Connie fell in love with country music, her imagination sparked by the voices of legends like Kitty Wells, Ernest Tubb, and Patsy Cline. But her path to music wasn't straightforward. At the age of 7, a life-changing accident nearly derailed her future. While mowing the lawn one afternoon, Connie had a terrible accident with the lawnmower, so severe that it nearly cost her a leg. The injury left her bedridden in the hospital, but it was during that long and lonely recovery that her connection to music truly deepened. To pass the time, someone gave her a guitar, and without formal lessons, Connie taught herself to play. Music became both a distraction and a lifeline, igniting a passion she didn't yet realize would change her life. Once back on her feet, Connie poured herself into her education and her emerging love of performing. In high school, she took to the stage for the first time, singing Connie Francis's pop hit My Happiness at a local event. Her performance revealed a natural gift, her voice rich, soulful, and captivating, even in its early stages. But Connie wasn't just musically talented, she was academically gifted too. She graduated as salutatorian of her class, narrowly missing the top spot by a fraction of a point. Connie's early years were shaped by hard work, perseverance, and an undeniable love for music, planted in her during those quiet moments with a guitar and fostered by the Saturday night sounds of the Grand Ole Opry. It was clear, even then, that she was destined for something more. Though her family struggled, those hardships would become the foundation of the voice that would one day redefine country music. In small-town Indiana, amidst family chaos, childhood challenges, and a brush with tragedy, Connie Smith's story truly began. After high school, Connie Smith's life looked like that of many young women in small-town America. She juggled a series of everyday jobs, working as a telephone operator, a drugstore clerk, a dental assistant, and even spending time as a grocery store employee. For Connie, music remained something she loved, but never something she thought could become her life. It was during this time that she married her first husband, Jerry Smith. While their marriage brought its own challenges, Jerry recognized something in Connie that she hadn't fully realized herself, a rare and beautiful gift. He encouraged her to sing, to share her voice beyond the walls of her home. That encouragement would become the push Connie needed to step into the world of performing, setting the stage for what was to come. The turning point arrived in 1963, when Connie, then 21 years old, entered a talent contest at Frontier Ranch, a well-known country music park near Columbus, Ohio. She chose to sing Jean Shepherd's "I Thought of You." As she stepped onto the stage, her nerves were undeniable, but the moment her voice rang out, the audience and the judges were stunned. Her delivery was pure, powerful, and unmistakably heartfelt. Connie won the contest, walking away with $5 silver, but the prize was far greater than money. In the crowd that day was country music star and songwriter Bill Anderson, serving as one of the judges. The minute Connie started singing, Anderson's ears perked up. Her voice was so polished, so clear, that for a moment, he wondered if she was lip-syncing. That performance left a mark on him, though neither of them knew how much their paths would cross in the years ahead. As fate would have it, Bill Anderson and Connie's paths did cross again. In early 1964, she attended a Bill Anderson concert in Ohio, and this time, Anderson invited her to Nashville to perform on the Midnight Jamboree radio show. For Connie, this was the opportunity of a lifetime, a chance to share the stage with country legends. But when she arrived in Nashville, she was in for a surprise. Instead of singing with Bill Anderson, she was performing alongside Ernest Tubb, another country music icon. That night, as Connie sang, she caught the attention of another legend, Loretta Lynn. Loretta approached her backstage, offering career advice and words of encouragement, a moment Connie would never forget. From that performance onward, things began moving fast. Bill Anderson was so impressed by Connie's talent that he invited her to record demo tracks with him. Together, they recorded a few songs, and Anderson's manager quickly shared the demo with RCA Victor's renowned producer, Chet Atkins. Chet Atkins was no ordinary producer. Known for shaping the Nashville sound, he had an ear for timeless voices, and Connie's was exactly that. After listening to her recordings, Atkins didn't hesitate. On June 24, 1964, Connie Smith signed her first recording contract with RCA Victor. In July 1964, Connie entered the recording studio for the very first time. Bill Anderson, now one of her biggest champions, had written several songs specifically for her. Over the course of one session, Connie recorded 4 tracks. Among them was a song that would change her life forever, "Once a Day." When "Once a Day" was released in August 1964, no one could have predicted just how far it would go. The single didn't just make waves, it made history. "Once a Day" soared to the top of the Billboard country charts and stayed there for an incredible 8 weeks. No female country artist had ever achieved such a feat with a debut single. The song's success was unprecedented, and Connie Smith had arrived. Her voice, pure and emotive, struck a chord with audiences across America. Radio stations played the track endlessly, and fans couldn't get enough. The impact of "Once a Day" catapulted Connie into the spotlight, turning her from an unknown singer into one of the brightest stars in country music practically overnight. As the song climbed the charts, Connie was thrust into a whirlwind of opportunity. She made her first television appearance on The Jimmy Dean Show, further solidifying her status as country music's newest star. Her sound was fresh yet traditional, embodying everything fans loved about the genre. While Bill Anderson's songwriting gave her the perfect material, it was Connie's voice that brought those words to life, full of depth, honesty, and emotion. That historic single not only launched Connie's career, but also set a new standard in country music. It proved that a woman's voice, raw, real, and unapologetically country, could dominate the charts in a genre still largely led by men. With "Once a Day," Connie Smith didn't just break barriers, she redefined what success could look like for women in country music. Connie's breakthrough wasn't luck. It was the result of talent, timing, and her unmistakable voice, a voice that would become one of the most iconic in country music history. And as her career took off, it was clear that Connie Smith was no one-hit wonder. This was only the beginning of what would become an extraordinary journey. As the success of Once a Day launched Connie Smith into stardom, the mid-1960s proved to be a whirlwind of recording sessions, live performances, and rising expectations. Her first album, Connie Smith, was just the beginning. Riding on the momentum of her breakout single, RCA Victor wasted no time releasing her second album, Cute and Country. The title may not have been Connie's favorite, but the music spoke for itself. With songs like Then and Only Then, Connie continued to captivate listeners, proving that she was far more than a one-hit wonder. By this point, RCA had a formula for success. They were crafting Connie's sound to fit the polished, radio-friendly mold of the Nashville sound, a production style that brought country music into the mainstream. The arrangements were smooth, with lush instrumentation that was tailored to sound perfect on car radios across America. But behind the glossy production, Connie's voice remained the anchor. Her vocals, full of clarity and emotion, set her apart, even as RCA pushed her towards the emerging pop country sound. Fame, however, came with its challenges. Connie quickly found herself on the road, performing in packed venues and sharing the stage with her band, the Sundowners. The demands of touring were relentless, and balancing a skyrocketing career with personal responsibilities became a heavy burden. Connie, who was still in her early 20s, was navigating not only fame, but also motherhood and marriage. The pressures of being away from her family began to take their toll. In interviews, Connie later reflected on this time as being bittersweet. While she loved music and appreciated the opportunities she'd been given, the demands of constant travel and recording often left her feeling torn. The price of success weighed on her, and she found herself seeking comfort and strength elsewhere. It was during these years that Connie's faith became an anchor in her life. Her deepening connection to Christianity began to influence her music. While RCA continued to push her toward mainstream country and pop hits, Connie's heart was increasingly drawn to gospel music, a genre that felt more in tune with her spirit. In the late 1960s, she began to incorporate gospel songs into her albums and live performances. She found solace in the music, and fans responded to its sincerity. One of the most notable examples of this shift was the album Come Along and Walk With Me. Released during this period, it was a collection of gospel songs that showcased a different side of Connie. These weren't just songs, they were deeply personal expressions of her faith, filled with warmth and reverence. Tracks like Where Could I Go But to the Lord revealed the depth of her conviction, and the album resonated with fans who shared her beliefs. It was clear that, for Connie, gospel music wasn't a departure from country. It was an extension of who she was. Despite the challenges of balancing her career and family, Connie remained a fixture in the public eye. Her popularity extended beyond the radio, as she became a regular presence on television. Performances on shows like The Jimmy Dean Show brought her music to a broader audience and solidified her status as a country music star. These appearances offered fans a chance to see Connie in action, her graceful stage presence and pitch-perfect vocals leaving a lasting impression. Through it all, Connie remained grounded. Behind the glamorous veneer of the music industry, she was still the same girl from Elkhart, Indiana, humble, hardworking, and deeply connected to her roots. Personal photos from this time show glimpses of the real Connie, moments with her children, quiet family gatherings, and snapshots of life away from the spotlight. As the 1960s drew to a close, Connie Smith was at the height of her career. Her success was undeniable, but the pressures of fame, the demands of touring, and her growing desire to sing music that truly reflected her heart were setting the stage for a new chapter in her life. Connie had already proven herself as a trailblazer in country music, but she was about to show the world that her story and her music was far from finished. As the 1970s began, Connie Smith found herself at a crossroads, creatively, personally, and professionally. After dominating the charts in the 1960s, she was ready to push her artistry in new directions, and the music she created during this time reflected both her growth and the struggles she faced. One of the most significant partnerships of Connie's career came with songwriter Dallas Frazier. Frazier had an incredible way of crafting lyrics that spoke to the heart, and Connie found his songs resonating deeply with her own life experiences. In 1970, they collaborated on "Where Is My Castle?", a song that became one of Connie's most personal recordings. It was a raw and emotional reflection of the challenges she was facing in her marriage at the time. Connie herself admitted that singing about the pain and uncertainty she felt was cathartic. The song struck a chord with audiences, breaking into the top 20 on the country charts and solidifying her ability to connect through deeply relatable, honest storytelling. While "Where Is My Castle" showcased her emotional depth, it was her 1971 recording of "Just One Time" that became the defining hit of the decade for Connie. Originally written and performed by Don Gibson, Connie's version gave the song new life. Her soulful delivery and unmatched vocal control brought a fresh intensity to the track, making it a major success. The single climbed all the way to number 2 on the Billboard country charts, becoming not only one of her biggest hits of the 1970s, but also one of her most enduring performances. However, as the music industry continued to evolve, Connie's relationship with RCA began to falter. After years of delivering hit after hit, she felt increasingly frustrated with unfulfilled promises and a lack of creative control. RCA had promised her better royalties and more freedom to choose her material, but those promises never materialized. Feeling undervalued and eager for a fresh start, Connie made the difficult decision to leave RCA and sign with Columbia Records, a label that offered her a new opportunity and the chance to work with one of the most influential executives in music, Clive Davis. At first, the move to Columbia seemed like the right step. Clive Davis, known for his sharp instincts and ability to elevate artists, seemed to understand Connie's vision. But just as their partnership began, Davis abruptly left Columbia, leaving Connie's future at the label uncertain. Without Davis's leadership, Connie found herself in a difficult position. She struggled to find the right producer who could help her realize her artistic goals. Initially, Connie worked with producer George Ritchie, but their collaboration was marked by creative tension. Ritchie pushed for a sound that leaned heavily into pop country influences, which didn't align with Connie's vision. For Connie, her music needed to reflect who she was: authentic, soulful, and grounded in tradition, and she wasn't willing to compromise on that. Eventually, she found a new producer in Ray Baker, and their partnership marked a turning point. Baker's approach was collaborative and allowed Connie to regain some of the creative freedom she had been missing. Together, they produced standout recordings like "They're a Lady Named Smith" and "Ain't Love a Good Thing." While these songs embraced the smoother production style of the era, Connie's unmistakable voice remained the centerpiece. Her delivery still carried the emotional weight and power that had defined her earlier hits, even as her sound evolved to meet the tastes of the 1970s. Despite the challenges of transitioning to a new label and navigating creative differences, Connie continued to earn the respect of critics and fans alike. Her music during this time showcased her resilience as an artist, someone who could weather the storms of the industry while staying true to her voice. The 1970s were a period of growth and reinvention for Connie Smith. Her collaborations with Dallas Frazier revealed a new level of vulnerability in her music, while hits like "Just One Time" proved she could still command the charts. Even as she faced setbacks and struggles at Columbia Records, Connie's unwavering dedication to her craft allowed her to continue delivering songs that resonated with listeners. Through it all, Connie remained a powerful and authentic presence in country music. A woman whose voice carried not just melodies, but stories of love, loss, and resilience. Whether she was singing a heartfelt ballad or an upbeat tune, her music reflected her journey, her struggles, and her unwavering spirit. By the late 1970s, after years of relentless touring, recording, and balancing the demands of fame and family, Connie Smith made a life-changing decision. In 1979, she chose to step away from the spotlight to focus on her faith and her family. The pressures of the music industry had taken their toll, and for Connie, it was time to prioritize what mattered most. During this period, she rarely recorded or performed, but her connection to music never completely faded. She would occasionally return to the stage to sing gospel songs at the Grand Ole Opry, where her voice still resonated with the same grace and power that made her a star. For Connie, these gospel performances were not just music. They were a reflection of her deep and unwavering faith. Years later, in the early 1990s, it was a conversation with one of her daughters that sparked her return to music. Her daughter asked why she wasn't doing more with the incredible talent she'd been given. That question lit a fire within Connie, and soon after, she found herself ready to record again. In 1998, she teamed up with Marty Stuart, country star, producer, and longtime admirer of Connie's work. Marty, who would later become her husband, helped her sign with Warner Brothers Records. But while the label wanted her to record duets, Connie stood her ground and insisted on a solo album. The result was Connie Smith, released in 1998. The album was a triumph. Critics praised its blend of traditional and contemporary country sounds, a mix that showcased both Connie's roots and her timeless voice. Songs like Lonesome and How Long reflected the same depth and emotional honesty that defined her earlier work. Writers like Kurt Wolff called it gutsier than most mainstream country at the time, and reviews hailed it as a remarkable return for one of country's greatest voices. In 2003, Connie returned to her gospel roots with Love Never Fails, an album recorded alongside Barbara Fairchild and Sharon White. The project came together under challenging circumstances. Connie was suffering from the stomach flu during the recording sessions, but her determination never wavered. The album brought a sense of joy and energy that resonated with gospel fans and showcased her ability to inspire through spiritual music. Even as the years passed, Connie Smith's passion for music remained as strong as ever. In 2011, she released Long Line of Heartaches, her first solo album in over a decade. Produced by Marty Stuart, the album was a love letter to traditional country music. Featuring songs by legendary writers like Harlan Howard and Costas, it captured the sound and spirit of her 1960s hits. Critics described it as a return to form, with Connie's voice sounding as rich and soulful as ever. Then, in 2021, Connie delivered yet another milestone with The Cry of the Heart, her first release in 10 years. The album paid homage to the style of her earliest work, recapturing the magic that made her a household name in country music. Songs like Here Comes My Baby, Back Again, and Spare Me No Truth Tonight were met with widespread acclaim. The New York Times praised the album's emotional depth and timeless production, while fans celebrated it as a reminder of what true country music sounds like. During this period, Connie also became a familiar face on The Marty Stuart Show, a weekly television program that aired from 2008 to 2014. Performing alongside Marty Stuart and a range of country artists, Connie introduced traditional country music to a new generation of fans. Her presence on the show proved that her voice and her legacy remained as vital and influential as ever. From stepping away at the height of her career to making a powerful comeback decades later, Connie Smith's journey is one of resilience, faith, and enduring passion. Her ability to stay true to her roots while continuing to evolve has solidified her place as one of country music's most remarkable and enduring voices. Through gospel, country, and everything in between, Connie's music remains a testament to the power of authenticity and the timeless beauty of a voice that never fades. Connie Smith's personal life has been just as remarkable as her musical journey. Over the years, she experienced both heartache and happiness. But one of the most beautiful parts of her story began in 1997 when she married Marty Stuart. Marty, a country star in his own right, had been a fan of Connie's since he was a young boy. After seeing her perform for the first time, he told his mother, "I'm going to marry her one day." Decades later, that dream became a reality. Their marriage became a story of love, mutual respect, and shared faith. For Marty and Connie, their bond was built not only on music, but also on a deep spiritual connection. Together, they've been a testament to partnership in both life and career. Connie often credits their lasting marriage to keeping God at the center of their lives and making a daily commitment to each other. Outside of music, Connie found joy in her family. She raised her children with the same grounded values she carried throughout her life. Her son Darren grew up to become a psychologist, a source of pride for Connie. While the demands of her career sometimes kept her away, family remained her anchor through every phase of her life. In 2021, Connie faced one of her toughest challenges yet. After contracting COVID-19, she developed severe complications, including sepsis and pneumonia. The illness left her hospitalized, and for a time, her recovery seemed uncertain. But Connie's determination, paired with her strong faith, helped her pull through. She later reflected on the experience, saying she refused to be just another COVID statistic. Her resilience, both on and off stage, has been a defining feature of her life. Connie Smith's legacy in country music is unparalleled. Her voice, a mix of power, soul, and pure emotion, has influenced countless artists over the decades. From her historic debut with Once a Day to her modern recordings, Connie remained a torchbearer for traditional country music, never compromising her sound or her identity. Her impact stretches far beyond the charts. Critics, fans, and fellow musicians have celebrated her contributions to the genre. Younger country artists often cite Connie as an inspiration, a reminder of the genre's roots and the beauty of authenticity. Whether through gospel or country, Connie's music has transcended time, leaving an indelible mark on generations of listeners. Her story isn't just one of success, it's one of perseverance, faith, and an unwavering commitment to her craft. Connie Smith has proven that true artistry endures, and her influence will continue to shine for years to come. Through it all, Connie's voice remains timeless, a sound that still stirs hearts and inspires dreams. She is more than a country legend, she is a symbol of what it means to stay true to yourself in a world that's constantly changing. Connie Smith's legacy will forever be woven into the fabric of country music, a lasting reminder of the power of passion, authenticity, and an unforgettable voice. Connie Smith's story is one of strength, passion, and authenticity. From her humble beginnings in small-town Indiana to becoming one of country music's most enduring voices, her journey is as inspiring as the music she created. From the record-breaking success of Once a Day to her heartfelt gospel recordings and celebrated comebacks, Connie's voice has remained timeless, a symbol of true artistry that transcends generations. Her story reminds us all to stay true to who we are and to follow our passions, no matter where life takes us. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the extraordinary life of Connie Smith, don't forget to like this video, share it with fellow music lovers, and subscribe to the channel for more stories about legendary icons. Thank you for joining us in celebrating the incredible legacy of Connie Smith, a voice and spirit that will forever live on in the heart of country music.